Hi there, welcome. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and I am here with Barbara Brekke. But I want to just tell you, this lady has a lot of answers for all of us. Do you ever feel stuck? I mean, really stuck in your life? Do you have dreams? Maybe you don't have dreams. Well, whether you do or you don't, Barbara can help you. Barbara, welcome. It's great to have you with us here today. You've accomplished an awful lot in your life experience. I just want to let our viewers know that you are author of Dream Weaver Goal Achiever. You're the founder and president of Go Beyond Your Dreams. You're a professional speaker, life coach, and you're also certified through Robbins Madonna's Institute, which is Tony Robbins, right?
Correct.
You walked on the coals.
I did at his UPW, which is Unleash the Power Within event. I did walk on fire.
I mean,
we're called fire walkers.
You have my vote of confidence if you can do that, but you also have 20 years of experience of multiple company, large project management experience.
Correct.
Is that something that led you into this whole picture of where you are today as a life coach and your book and all your accomplishments?
Well, I spent over 20 years in corporate America, which I loved. And one of the departments I was in charge of was large project management, which at a very large scale is very complex and technical and can take a year and a half to do a project from an idea to implementation. So I did many of those. And I kept thinking there's a way to make this easy, simplify it, so that anyone who has a dream they want to bring to reality or a situation that they want to work themselves out of or into something else, they can use this. So I finally made the decision, as hard as it was, to leave that job and start this business. The other thing that I think is buried in my passion for doing this is that I grew up in a home with domestic violence, like many people, and I saw in my mother someone who had no hopes, no plans, no path to get out of this situation. And when I was 15, I was told one day that in 2 days, you're going to be placed in another home in a big city, Chicago, which is still my hometown. And we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have laptops, so everything's gone. You can't text people or send pictures.
Right.
So I knew I had to start a new life at 15. So I think that was probably my first beginning at planning, and that's probably what also even attracted it to me throughout my business career. And I have been able to take that process so that that's my goal. Anyone that feels stuck, like you said, anyone who just wants to do something different and just doesn't have that path to get there, I can help them get there.
So 15, you're starting out on your own? Well, God bless you. That is quite an accomplishment, to say the very least. You had to really dig deep at that time, I'm certain.
That is true. I had my first job in an Affy-Tapple factory.
Oh,
so
my
that
goodness.
it was during the summer, and I couldn't go to school yet in the new place, didn't know anyone, so started working in an Affy-Tapple factory to try and make money. They let you work at 15. When I was younger, they still do at some jobs.
See that? And you know what? Everybody has a story, and this is your story that can really be moving and inspirational to each and every one of you. Would you ever say that it's too late to start to dream?
No. I am a firm believer that you should grow until the day you die. And when we're young, people always say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we have all these wonderful answers. But as we get older, we don't even ask ourselves that. And in my mind, it does not matter how old you are. You're still growing up. At any point in your life, you should be able to say, what do I want to be when I grow up? And just when you decide what that is, pursue it and go after it. And it may be a total change, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, or 70, or 80, or 90. Follow what you want to do, but you have to also invest in yourself the time to figure out what it is you want to do. Because we're so busy, we often don't stop to do that.
No, because your mind is just continuously going.
We have to do what we have to do.
So you must have had this aha moment, knowing where you wanted to take, based on a lot from your childhood experience.
And it's funny because through all the years working in my insurance career, which I loved, I didn't really think about that. But somehow, I guess slowly it is in the back of your mind, and you keep trying to think, what do I want to do, and how could I take this? You know, instead of now I've done this for so many years, how can I take this and maybe grow myself, because I had never started my own business before, grow myself, but also help other people grow and share what I had learned.
And there's a lot to be said for that. And I have to tell you, this book is truly amazing. None of us were born with access to a step-by-step guide on how to live, how to develop your belief system, who to believe, who not to believe, and before you know it, you're in your 50s or 60s trying to look back and figure out, who am I? I didn't believe in that, so you change it, right? So Dreamweaver Goal Achiever, it is a step-by-step guide to turning your dreams into reality. And you have the power to be able to help people recognize those dreams, right?
I have the knowledge because of what all the large projects that I've done. And that's the same thing. If you have a dream, or again, you got hit by a situation you weren't expecting, and you're just overwhelmed with what to do, that process, you know, and I feel anyone can do that process. Now, I'm a professional speaker, and so when I speak, oftentimes there are people that know how to do this, but it inspires them to think, you know, I put that dream away. I need to bring it out now,
right.
and
You're
do
stirring it up. You stir it up in people.
But now there's also then people that say, wow, I'd like to do that, but I don't know how. Right. And that's where, as a coach, you know, you can help someone walk through. The book, there are 15 chapters, and at the end of each one, there are takeaway steps, so that people work through exercises before they go to the next step, so that you are walking step by step. And I believe that my mother was in a situation where she didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, so you are just stuck. But when somebody can sit down and create their, what I call path forward, and they see that light at the end of the tunnel, then they know, I can start walking. I can do this. Now I know my path.
And that is sometimes the hardest thing, is to lay out that path, that journey, because if you're stuck, you can't get started. So that's the purpose of a life coach, and that is what your passion is all about. It's written all over you. You have a glow about you. And I have to tell you, if you're stuck in your life right now, maybe you've been stuck before, or maybe you've put that dream up on the shelf, guess what? Get it off the shelf and get a hold of Barbara, because after going through this book, it's a step-by-step guide. She leads you. She takes you by the hand every step of the way. And I have to say, sometimes I feel like I just want to sit back and let somebody just tell me how to get through this, and that. So I commend you for it. So we have just about 2 or 3 minutes remaining in this segment. Can you give us maybe 2 or 3 quick tips on how somebody can sort of tap into their own emotional heartstrings and find that dream?
Well, there are numerous different ways. One is to picture your perfect day. Now, an example, I always told myself, I lived in Chicago, and on my perfect day, even though it included my job that I loved and everything, always had sun. It did not have snow. It always had sun, and it always had tropical thing. And that was for years, and finally it was like, well, then why don't you move? Your perfect day, you're not living in that environment. Another thing to do is say, what's your biggest regret? If you have a big regret, perhaps it's something you can change, you can go back and fix, or it may be something that is a good lesson to move forward. Oftentimes people will catch themselves saying, well, if I knew then what I know now, but the point is you do know now, and maybe you should make a big change rather than say, because the insinuation is when you say that, oh, I wouldn't have done it, or I would have done it way differently, then do it. You can still do it. It might be hard and it might be a big change, but you can do it. You don't have to live with, well, I did that 20 years ago, and so here I am for the next 30 years. It doesn't have to be like that. And those are things that can start getting you to start thinking about. And not only that, but where are your natural talents? What was it you wanted, that you loved when you were young, but we all went out and got jobs because we needed to get jobs and take care of our family. So we all have responsibilities, and that's wonderful, and we're right to do it, but we should also be able to put ourselves aside and say, what do I really want, not should, want.
That is excellent, excellent tidbits of advice. And I have to tell you, in this last few seconds, I just want to say thank you so much, because the world is in crazy times right now. And I
Very
think
true.
people are looking to make changes in their lives. And I say go for it. You know what? Live in the moment and just sit back, take some time for yourself and think about
Right.
if you could have the perfect day, like Barbara said, what would that be for you? That's where you're going to find your dream. So in order to get Barbara's book, Dreamweaver, Goal Achiever, I love it. I think there was a song out similar to that. Step-by-step guide. Mindless. You read the book, you do the work, and you're done. Bada bing, bada boom. You are stepping into your dream. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you, Barbara. Good luck.
Thank you.